Early. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another empowering episode of the Boss Woman Network podcast, where we highlight bold women doing big things in their purpose and power. Today's guest, we have someone who is truly embodying grace, strength, and resilience. She's a professional ballerina, podcast host, author, lifestyle columnist, and an advocate for mental health and healing through movement. You may know her as the voice behind the Growth, Grace, and Gratitude podcast. But today, we're diving even deeper into the woman behind the mic. So please help me welcome Ari, the founder of Ballet Tutoring and Mindset with Ari. Thank you
So
for
much.
joining. Yeah, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for the lovely introduction. Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. All right, so let's dive right in. So let's start at the beginning. Your resume is incredibly impressive, from dancing at the Lincoln Center to creating space for others through your classes and podcasts. What inspired this journey into combining ballet and mental wellness?
I think I always loved the art of dancing and performing. And as I was finishing college and kind of contemplating what I wanted to do, I was trying to introduce different things. So I was writing, I was doing mental health articles, and I really felt inspired to add something about expressing myself through words with dance, because with dance, it's nonverbal. There's no communication happening. You're on the stage and you're kind of presenting yourself in this magical sphere of space. And then when I figured out, wow, there's a whole mental health aspect behind that. We have to take care of our psyche, our psychology. We have to communicate and talk about our feelings or our body. Like, is it hurting? Do we feel good? Do we
Mm.
have body issues? Whether we're looking in the mirror like 24/7, we have to be like so perfect. So I think combining mental health always played a role in dance, whether it is to have somebody to talk with or
Mm.
just to even journal your feelings and express how you're feeling throughout the days.
I love that. Did you start ballet as a child or you started
Yes.
later? Oh,
As
okay.
like a baby, so like 3 years old, I just started in dance class, and from the first days that I saw the children in the studio, I never stop dancing. I just absolutely love the art and love the I think the discipline is also kind of innately pushed me to want to do it because I
Mm.
feel like all of us growing up, we love discipline even though we don't really say that, especially as like adults. It's hard to say we love discipline because starting younger, it's a different ballpark. It's like when you're given discipline as a younger child, you're able to kind of activate those neurons and those how your mind communicates with productivity and action steps, like how you kind of manifest your way around the world. And I think earlier on, it really helped me with discipline. So I think ballet, even just for everybody to connect with some kind of discipline, really
Hmm.
helps to keep their mental health in check for sure as well.
I love that. I love that. No, ballet is hard. I mean, it looks hard from the stretching to the. Can you still do all of those things that you did when you were like 3 years old? Because I know your legs, you have.
Yeah. So the thing is, when we start point, it's around 13, 14, and every dance company and dance studio is different. So I guess according to your teacher, who you practice with, they're able to kind of see how strong you are to go on points. And once you start going on points, I remember in the School of American Ballet, we just went on points. So we didn't even do any kind of dancing yet. I think for a year,
Hmm.
we were
Wow.
just, yeah, putting it on at the bar, going up and down in releve and maybe doing some positions and getting our feet really comfortable. And I think that also played a really important role in being comfortable to dance on point because we weren't rushed. So we
Hmm.
were building slowly but steadily. And I think that really offers great benefits to dancers when you're not rushing through it. So you're building flexibility, strength, and that discipline is really helpful. So I really didn't have a problem throughout. Like I still love dancing on point, and I think that's what actually helped me to master it and to continue navigating even when I had an injury and it was after I did a summer program at Miami City Ballet. And the last day after all the performances, I had an injury. So I was doing like a forte, and these are like turns on points where you're doing
Hmm.
like 32 fortes. And I was trying to be like cool. I was doing them in a rugged space. So there was like rug
Hmm.
on the floor, and it's
Oh,
really bad to dance with the rug. You have to have like a special Marley Ballet floor. But I thought like, oh, this is going to be so fun because my performances went great. And when I ended up spraining my ankle, I was like, oh my gosh, like that was horrible.
oh.
Yeah, and I had to, I couldn't walk for like a few weeks and slowly coming back to dance was really interesting to kind of navigate that because even though I couldn't really do anything yet, as I started taking just like bar and center very slowly and very easily, like surprisingly enough, I felt even stronger on that ankle when I started to come back. So I was like, wow, this is really interesting. So there's something about building from the beginning, like from really
Hmm.
early on, I think building that flexibility and strength
Hmm.
really helps to even heal better. It should be studied. It's very interesting.
Hmm. I bet. That is pretty cool. I've never met a ballerina before, so this is new.
Oh, wow.
So, you turned your passion into a platform that serves people of all ages. What do you love most about teaching ballet and mindfulness to kids, teens, and adults, especially in this digital, fast-paced world?
That's a great question. I love the digital part of it also because we started doing like a YouTube, so posting snippets of either rehearsal or class or different ballet variations on point or stretching. So it's good to kind of have two things. So you work through digital to help people kind of have a bigger reach to connect to different people, and then to connect in person, whether they want to do virtual classes or in studio classes. I think the most important thing is to have consistency. So whether we start the class with positive affirmations or we end the class with any questions students have, whether it is about ballet tips, how to help themselves maybe perfect a certain step or work on their mindfulness. I feel like being a teacher in dance, it's so great to have that awareness that kids need mindfulness
Hmm.
guidance. And I think like growing up, we didn't have that so much. We had a
Right.
lot of tools in terms of like dance and perfectionism. But when it comes to mindfulness, I think we're starting now more and more to realize the importance and implications that mindfulness has on on your mental health and physical
Right.
health because I think even before performances, if your mental health is not good, it's really hard to have a good performance
True.
because I feel like when you're going on stage, so much of it is just your mindset, even. It's like, are you ready to do the role? And not even physically, it's like mentally, are you
Right.
capable of like having a positive mind, having all of your roles ready for performing? So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, so you're teaching the young girls. Are you doing just girls or guys, boys and girls?
No, we do girls and boys. So we have
Okay.
kids, we have teens, and we have adults also. So I feel like there's no age limit. I think it's so fun for everybody to have an
Oh, cool.
opportunity to dance if they
Cool.
want to.
So basically you're teaching them how to navigate life, really, in the process of it, how to handle life's problems, anything you're dealing with, and still be able to push through and using dance as an outlet for that, basically.
Yeah, I love that actually. I think that's such a true thing. And as I was dancing growing up, I think just the art of being able to dance, it helped me have a more centered, grounded perspective on life. Because when I wasn't feeling like I was in the mood or I needed an outlet, I was able to just go and dance. And even if I couldn't
Mhm.
go to my studio, I would go to my friend's house or just even in my room or in office space. It
Mm.
feels so nice to have that ability because dance is also it's movement. So
Yeah.
it's thematic, it's connecting your mind and body to the presence. And there's such a
Mm.
healing factor as well because you're kind of giving yourself permission to move your body how you want to at your own pace. And ballet comes with such a beautiful healing music. We have orchestra
Mm.
music, and so often we just go on, Spotify or YouTube and connect with the most beautiful music, and
Mm.
it's so healing. The art of music and the art of dance combined, I think, creates such a beautiful synergy, and that's why everybody loves going, to the ballet because it's kind of like a meditative experience. You are seeing
Yeah.
costumes and magic and you're hearing it as well. So yeah, it's
Mm.
so beautiful.
Are the adults able to catch on to the dance if they're I mean, are they starting, are the adults that you work with, did they do ballet as a child, or they are just starting out with you and able to catch on now?
We have some adults that are starting out just new, so they're not professionals.
Mm.
They're just learning the basic combinations, the basic steps at bar. So they're learning the pliés, the tendus, the jetés, where it's just kind of figuring out how the body is able to coordinate with the legs and the
Mm.
arms. And it's so fun once we start turning because you have to take into account spotting, whether we
Mm.
spot, front or diagonally, and practicing. It's so fun to see also because I feel like whether we are experienced or not in any field, we have to learn, we always
Right.
learn. And it's so cool to see beginners because you're able to kind of see how you were before.
Yeah, the
And
growth.
yeah, and you're also able to, help guide them along.
I like that. Are these online classes as well?
Yes, a lot of them are online because so many students are in different like states and some of
Okay,
them are different countries. So when
cool.
they're preparing for like a competition or preparing to get into a ballet, like a summer intensive program, they can't all get into the studios. So yeah, we do a
True.
lot of virtual.
Oh, that's so cool. Anybody from anywhere can just join your classes. Okay.
Yes.
So you mentioned dealing with bullying as one of your biggest challenges. That's a topic many of our listeners can relate to. How did your experience shape your mindset, both as a dancer and a businesswoman?
Yes, bullying is interesting because I think when you are in any field or whatever you're doing and you have this kind of like naive sense about yourself because you're just present and you're focused on the task, it's kind of, surprising when bullies come to your, surroundings because you're not expecting it.
Right.
And It was interesting in the beginning because I really was kind of confused and I didn't even know it was bullying in the beginning. I just remember in like a studio space there was kids crowded around and I heard like snickering or laughing and I was like, what's going on? And then I heard somebody would say my name or something about what I was wearing or some, childish things. People bully for different reasons,
Yeah, it's always something crazy.
yeah, like who knows what's going on in their personal lives or, there's so many things going on behind the scenes. But I mean, I wasn't really affected because it wasn't really extreme. So I just
Mhm.
remember being a little bit confused and being like, why do people do that? And why are they talking about me? Like I was like, why did they choose me to bully? I think whenever we get bullied, we try to put ourselves in this state of like, why me?
Right,
Think we don't have to do that because unless a friend comes to you and has something they want to say to you to help you or something to offer you or guidance, it's like there's no point to internalize it or victimize yourself. I think that's the
right.
thing that happens really often. We victimize ourselves, which is fair if, the bullying gets really extreme and there's no way out or until you
Right.
realize the way out. That's actually, it's dangerous because it really does affect our mental health. Being
It
bullied
does.
is really horrible. So I personally didn't really have any issues after that. It just, sometimes kids would do that and they try to psych themselves out before a performance or before an audition. They want to feel superior, feel more confident. And I think,
Oh, hmm.
yeah,
You must have been really, really good at what you were doing because if they were trying to kill your confidence before you got on stage to feel superior.
that somebody told me that. And I was like, oh, I guess. Like,
That's what it sounds like to me.
thank you. That's so kind. Yeah, but it's true. I guess that's the thing. People usually bully when they feel lacking in something. And we all
Mhm.
we all feel in periods of our lives lacking in something, but it's like how we get around to it. Like I
Right.
remember when I was little, I was watching an open class with a principal ballet dancer. I think it was like from ABT, and she was so beautiful. And I mean, we can choose to learn from somebody who's better than us in
That's what
something,
I say all the
right? And
time.
we
Yeah.
can come and ask questions and we can be inquisitive and or we can be like, oh, I can't do that. Like I have to bully somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always take the more positive route. I can't stand it when the kids or adults, because adults do it too. It's not just the kids. If they see that they may feel inferior to you, instead of taking it as, okay, let me learn from this person, or how can I, better myself, they would like to try to sabotage you or bully you. Yeah,
Yes.
so I hate that, but I'm glad what you're doing. You're helping kids and adults and mindset and preparing them to not be that way, just giving them a positive outlook on life through dance. And
Yeah, and I think like even if that's mindfulness is so important because I feel like if the people who bully were given this kind of mindfulness, the tools, maybe they wouldn't bully so much because they
right,
would start to see what's happening and they would kind of realign their behavioral patterns and they would
right,
realize, oh, this is happening. I feel, XYZ. I want to feel XYZ, and they will take the steps to go after or to improve. I think we have to teach kids the art of
yes,
being better people by not hurting other people. It's like there's a
right,
healthy competition 100% because
yes,
ballet is so competitive.
yes,
And there's a way to be graceful about it and be to be kind and courteous, but it does take a lot of self-respect, self-love, and self-awareness, and that's the journey of life.
true, so true. So let's talk about what you're creating now. From your long distance love poetry book to your affirmation cards for young girls. Tell us more about these projects and how they support confidence and healing.
So I started writing poetry when I was getting more into the mental health aspect of life, and I was like, wow, I love dancing. It's so beautiful. And now that I found writing, which is also so fun, I want to kind of expand and I want to express myself through words. And I really love to write. I love poetry, and I wanted to write a few different ebooks and guidebooks to connect people with their love, with heartbreak, whether it is going through different experiences in life, whether it's like girlhood and feeling confident or going through betrayal, best friend
Yeah.
breakups, all the things that we
Mm,
experience in life, which
mm,
gives us like a jolt of like panic or confusion until we integrate it and realize this is life, c'est la vie, and we have to just, keep learning and growing. So
yeah.
I was writing that, and then with more and more dance, I was kind of inspired to do affirmations as well. So I started to write affirmations for girls and for boys to help them. And this is not specifically for dancers, this is for everybody, but it's
Okay.
inspired by
Right.
dance because,
Okay.
yeah, there's like a discipline of elegance and gracefulness and kind of perfectionism, but not to be obsessed with the actual perfectionism. So there's like a slippery slope in terms of having that awareness that, yes, ballet is a really intricate kind of sport, you could say, but
Mm,
not to become so obsessed with it and to let it control you. And that is also it goes for anything. So whatever people are obsessed with, or whether it's like addiction, we have to figure out ways how not to be addicted. So that's kind
mm,
of the journey that inspired me to do those affirmations as well. And I personally even love affirmations. I use them every day. I even would just write affirmations in my journal, and I feel like it's a good way to rewire the brain because we talk to ourselves. We have different beliefs. We have different subconscious things running around. And
right.
when we pick up on that, we're like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? What am I saying? And then, like, when we actually write our affirmations down on paper, it gives us some kind of like visual clarity of, oh, wow, okay, I have to embody this a little more because this is positive, this is productive, this is going to lead me into more joy. And affirmations for me are like super helpful. It can also help boost your mood so quickly when you are going through something. When I'm
Mm,
going through like sadness or depression or any symptoms that require something to, lift up our moods, people go to overeat or they go
yeah.
to even overwork out. Again, it's like addiction personality. We have to kind of figure out how to deal with the emotions in the most healthy way possible. So I think affirmations really help.
They do. Matter of fact, my husband has me writing down notes and having them right here at my desk or at the table where I
I
sit
love
at. But writing down the notes and just looking at them every day.
Yes, yes.
So
That's
I
great.
I love it. So how can people find your or purchase your affirmation cards?
Oh, they can either email it to me, so growthandgracemindset@gmail.com, or we have a website. And I'm not sure what the website is called because I think we're like doing some shifts with the website, but for now,
Okay,
yeah, for now through email or through our YouTube, Ballet Daily. That's our YouTube.
got it. Okay. So your podcast, it features a wide range of women from astrologers to mental health coaches to dancers. Why is collaboration and storytelling such an important part of your brand?
I love I love collaborating with storytellers. It's so fun because dance is a whole world of storytelling. And then when it comes to communicating with people, I think it makes it so much more fun because you're actually talking and learning about people and bringing into the forefront different ideas and thoughts and beliefs. And we learn about each other, I think, so much when we are like spiritually contemplating and discussing different things.
Mm,
And we, I think, heal a part of our own inner child anytime we express ourselves and we talk about our journeys and what we go through and what our dreams are. I think we heal so many ancestral trauma or
Mhm.
ancestral roots because we're able to talk. And I think that's what our ancestors were really craving. And it's so beautiful to be able to connect with people, whether it is a dancer or we have so many spiritual mentors come, as well as authors, lawyers, doctors, from really from all kinds of
Yeah,
specialties. So it's so fun. Like I'm learning myself every time I'm talking to somebody
me
on
too. I
right.
experienced that too. I know what you mean with that. So yeah. What
Yeah,
kind of
it's
topics do y'all talk about on your podcast?
a lot of topics that are connected to growth of like the mind. So connecting
Hmm.
with mindfulness and also spiritual topics. So whether it's
Okay.
connecting to like inner child healing or working through different traumas to go on the road of recovery. There's a lot of recovery. We have a lot of specialists when it comes to like dealing with traumas. So we have really beautiful people who are sharing their stories, and it's so inspiring. It's
Hmm.
really it's beautiful.
Pretty cool. And you had an astrologer on there. What did you speak about with the astrology? Were you talking about
Yes. Oh
different
my gosh.
moon signs?
Yes, astrologers are so fun. We talked about moon phases a lot, which is super
Hmm.
interesting because I know there's like a full moon, there's a new moon, and then there's also like phases leading up to and then after. So it's just so interesting to learn about the different phases that are affecting our emotions, which is,
Wow.
interesting because obviously you probably feel emotional during the full moon, but now we have like astrologers kind of confirm that, and they're
Hmm.
explaining how, the currents and the moon and how the rhythm and the gravitational pull really plays a role on our emotions and our psyche. And it's really interesting to have those perspectives. It's so
Really?
cool.
The moon. You probably feeling the way and didn't even know the reason why. You didn't even notice that it was a full moon out there, but you're having some type of pull and don't even know what's going on with you. I'm pretty sure we all experience that because sometimes we're not paying attention if it's a full moon or a half moon or anything going on. So that energy wave is pretty serious.
Yes, 100%.
Wow. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into that and learn more about that because I'm always reading about the signs and astrology, but it's not that deep to know about the moon and the rising. Because I did see something about the rising on some side of the moon. I'm like,
Yes, I know a lot of people love talking about like their personal astrology chart, and they figure out that with their rising, their sun
yeah,
sign and their moon sign. That's like the big three they call it. And I was
mm,
also learning about that because I used to give inner child readings and connecting it to life path and
mm,
astrology life path. And I started incorporating the rising because like your rising sign is specifically kind of co-creating like your destiny or your personality. And sometimes people don't even know their rising sign if they care about astrology
mm,
because their sun sign, which might be different than their rising. So it's interesting how like if somebody has like a Virgo sun, they could feel centered, grounded, very detail oriented, very kind of like nonchalant. But if their rising is like a fire sign, like a Leo, they're going to be like exuberant and lively, and people wouldn't even think they're a Virgo. So it's like
right.
your rising sign has a really big impact on your overall personality, which I thought is super, super cool. It's
That
like
is.
we can always like learn parts of ourselves.
I'm gonna read some more into that. I'm intrigued because I saw something about the rising not long ago. I was like, I didn't completely understand it. So I'm gonna have to dig deeper because it did say something because I'm a Cancer, but it said something about my rising as a Virgo and something as a Leo. It, just like you
Oh,
said. So I was like, what does that mean? How am I? I'm a Cancer. What does that have to do with me? So now that you're saying that, I'm gonna really go dig deeper because I didn't even understand what that meant.
oh, that's so cool. We are in Cancer season, so that's really nice.
Yeah, Cancer season. My birthday is in on the 17th this month.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool. Cancer
Yeah.
women are so awesome. I have a few friends who are Cancer women, and they're so Like they're so nurturing and they're so loyal, I feel. So I love having them around me.
Ah, yes, we are. We are so intuitive and
Yes.
kind-hearted. But I don't know about your friends, but we tend to be introverts too.
Yes, yes, 100%. It's totally true. It's like I'm like the extrovert of the group, and I'm like, come on, guys, like let's go. They're like, no, let's just like stay home, have a cooked meal, and like let's
Yeah.
go.
So Cancer. Okay. All right. So before we get out of here, I always like to talk about you, the guest, giving a piece of advice. What type of advice would you give to a woman or a young girl listening who is scared to start?
So whoever is scared to start, I think, which is we're all scared to start something at some time.
It's so true.
So I'd say feel really inspired that you're scared and keep going. Because every time I did something, I was scared. It's like there's no way not to feel scared. That's an emotion that's kind of helping you
Go.
over the hump. And once you get over that hump, the world from that space is so amazing because you're going to kind of look at yourself in a new light. You'll be able to see all those different emotions you have gone through and through just keep on going and taking those steps that you need to create something or to work on something, whether it is to audition for a dance that you want to do or to take a class or to learn a brand new skill, which is so, it sounds so scary as adults. It's super scary, but as children, think about how excited we were to start something new. We were just running towards the playground and trying to play a new game with their friends or trying to do something fun. And I think we have to bring that childlike excitement back to ourselves
Mm,
as adults because that's the only thing that's going to give us that energy and
mm,
excitement to get over
mm.
that hump of fear of failure. And there's no problem to have fear of failure. That's actually a great thing and means you were on the right path. Because it's like if you don't have that fear of failure, that means you're not even on the road to success. I think
Mm.
having failure is actually the number one contributor to your success because you're
Yeah.
already on the road, and that's a beautiful thing. So, fear and failure, these are things that we go through, and it's not something that should keep us stuck and keep us feeling small or shameful or like judging ourselves for it because I know we can feel people's energy sometimes or people's
Yeah.
projection of their own failures on us when we don't succeed in something, but
Mhm.
just like literally ignore that because everybody is on the journey to learn more about themselves. And we're always learning about ourselves, what we're good at, what we can do better at. So whatever it is you want to do, take an internship, learn, ask questions, and keep going. As long as you have the inspiration, the motivation, the energy to keep going, you will create something beautiful within your reality.
I love that. That was a great answer to that question. Yeah.
Thank
Whoever
you.
is seeing this should be inspired and motivated. Just
Yes.
go. Because failure just means you learn something in the process and you're growing. Um, so all right, thank you so much for your time, your story, your grace that you bring to the world where our listeners can connect with you and learn more. How can they find you and learn more once again?
They can follow us on our podcast, which is wherever you listen to podcasts. That's the Growth, Grace, Gratitude podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Ballet Daily. And if you want to get a guidebook or any of our ebooks, or even book a class, virtual dance class, they can send an email to growthandgracemindset@gmail.com.
All right. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Boss Woman Network podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to share it with a fellow boss woman in your life. And remember, your purpose is powerful when you show up daily. And until next time, stay bold, stay grounded, and keep building the life you deserve. So, thank you again, Ari, for joining me. And you have
Thank
a
you so much. Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. And you're such a beautiful host. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Well, you have a great day and thank you again for joining me.
Thank you so much. You
All right.
too.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.